Now, we all know it's not polite to cut someone off and get straight to the point, but sometimes don't you just want to? This is what I love about being an ex-real estate agent. There is no consequences other than worrying about people coming after you with pitchforks and knives because you're sharing all their secrets. I'm sure I'll be fine. So today we're talking about how much money real estate agents charge. Come on, I know you want to know. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Andrew Moore and I am basically obsessed with money. Not like in a weird, creepy way, like, I must have it all! But more like, my favorite movie is Wall Street since like 10 years ago when it came out. And basically, I just love talking about money, learning about money, and making money. All in an effort to understand how money works so I can be better with it. In fact, I watched Wall Street Money Never Sleeps so many times, I wanted to be just like Shia LaBeouf with the finely tailored suits, the charisma. Maybe that's why I did real estate for 6 years. Anyway, this YouTube channel is all about me trying to understand how money works and how I can invest it, how I can manage it, and how I can spend it better. That was really hypocritical, Andrew. Your whole intro was about how people just want to get to the point and find out how much real estate agents charge. And now you've gone on such a long tangent, we're quite a way into the video and you haven't even started. Sorry. So when it actually comes to real estate agent fees, it's important to know that there are different structures and consequences if you select the wrong structure.
Is that a threat? Absolutely.
And it also differs depending on where you're from. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here are your options. Fixed percentage, incentive-based fee, flat fee, at vendor's discretion, and sliding scale. Did you get those? Good, because I'm not repeating it. Okay, don't freak out. It can feel overwhelming at first, but we can fix that. So the first thing that you should understand, regardless of whether you're from Australia or not, is Australian real estate agent fees used to be regulated, and every single real estate agent would be paid 2.5% of the total sale price of the property. Now that worked great when houses were worth $100,000, but obviously there has been quite a bit of growth in the last few years. And because of that growth, the Australian government decided to unregulate real estate agent fees. So now real estate agents essentially can charge whatever they want, and it's negotiable with you. Now we all know the real estate agent's job is to get you, the seller, the highest possible price and negotiate on your behalf. However, when you're first interviewing a real estate agent, it is their job to get themselves the highest fee that they possibly can, and it is your job as the seller to negotiate in the other direction. Fun fact, even though I was a real estate agent for 6 years, I actually hate negotiating. So I prefer Warren Buffett's take on it, where he just says, this is what I'm prepared to pay, and if you want to do it, fine. And if you don't want to do it, fine. Okay, let's get to the meat of the conversation. Where I live in Melbourne, real estate agents will charge anywhere from 1% at the very bottom end, up to about 2.7% of the sale price of your home. Is that including GST or excluding GST? That's a fantastic question, Andrew, and I'm glad you asked, because it depends what the agent writes on the paperwork. So you need to clarify when they say, we're charging you 2%, that's 2% including the GST and not 2% excluding the GST, meaning it's really 2.2%, but they're just writing 2% on the paperwork. Now that 2% commission that I was just talking about is the first structure on our list, which is known as a fixed percentage, meaning that if the property sells for $1 million or $2 million, the real estate agent's commission will be 2% of whatever the sale price is. Wow, this is really starting to add up. Now's probably a good time to remind you guys to hit the like button if you haven't already. You could smash it if that's something that you're into, but it really helps me out with that little old friend of mine, the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, okay, let's get to the next structure on our list, which is the incentive-based fee. Now, an incentive-based fee is essentially where the real estate agent will offer you a lower fixed percentage. So we spoke about fixed percentage just before. Now, let's say the real estate agent normally charges 1.8%. They might give you an initial discount and say, I'll only charge you 1.5%. However, as the name suggests, there needs to be an incentive for the real estate agent, typically in the form of they get a bonus if they achieve above a certain sale price that you have in mind. For example, let's say that you really want to get $1 million and you say to the real estate agent, let's do 1.5% as a fixed percentage, plus I'll give you an incentive above $1 million. If you can achieve that, I will give you 10% of any amount above $1 million. Now, this is a great way to motivate the real estate agent to get you the best price possible. However, there are some potholes that you really should be aware of. If the agent was conservative when they were appraising your house and they said, look, I really think that the house is worth $1 million, but it's actually realistically more worth maybe $1,100,000, but you listen to their advice and you set that incentive price at $1 million, they get 1.1 million for the sale. That means you owe them an extra whopping $10,000 on top of the $15,000 commission they were already getting because of the 1.5% of $1 million. So you're paying them 1.5% of the total sale price of $1 million, and then an incentive of 10% any amount above $1 million, which equals a whopping $25,000 fee. Oh, I'm feeling anxious, Andrew. Oh, it gets easier from here. Don't worry about it. We're going to be fine. If instead you'd gone with the higher initial fee of 1.8 that we spoke about before, instead of being tempted down to the 1.5, and the home still sells for 1.1, then in this scenario, you'd only be paying $19,800 versus $25,000. That's a big difference just for initially going for the lower amount, or what seemed like the lower amount.
And you know what they say, when something normally sounds too good to be true, it often is.
Also, the agent's job in the first place is to try and get you the best possible price, so I don't really understand why you're paying them an incentive to do what they already said they would do. This brings us to the third option on the list, the flat fee. Now, as the name suggests, it's essentially a flat fee. So if the property sells for $1 million, or it sells for $2 million, or it sells for $3 million, you're just paying them the flat fee. So if you agreed to $11,000, including GST plus GST, that's what the fee is, regardless. But that sort of does remove a little bit of motivation for that agent to really try and get that extra $10,000 for you at the other end, because they're not sharing in that. It's much easier just to go, okay, yeah, here's the offer. No, they weren't prepared to pay any more. I'll take my $11,000 now. If I had $1 for every time I had an incentive-based fee. Oh wait, I do. I could not do it. It's too easy. I just had to put that joke in. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. I did mean it. I'm really sorry, guys. Oh, someone's got to appreciate my jokes out there. Even if it's not you. Okay, let's continue and I won't quit my day job. Oh wait, I technically already did that. Number 4 on the list is at vendor's discretion, and I'm going to give you a little hint. In real estate terms, you as the seller are known as the vendor, and in this scenario, the vendor picks the agent's commission at the end of the process. How this works is essentially you and the real estate agent come to an agreement between a low fixed percentage and a high fixed percentage, let's say 1.5% and 2%. And basically, you as the vendor get to select based on their performance, based on the sale price, based on did they say and do everything that they said they would do. I mucked that up, but anyway, we'll move on. Essentially, you pick after the sale, once you know what you've got, whether you're going to pay them 1.5 or anywhere between 1.5 and 2%. Now, when a real estate agent's pitching for your business, they all sound great. They're all really nice people. They all compliment you. They all try and build rapport with you. So it's really hard to tell who you should actually go with because they all sound great. Asking an agent if they're open to this type of commission, because not every real estate agent will be opening to letting you determine how much they get paid after the job without it being a discussion you just pick, is a great way to find out which real estate agents actually believe all the stuff they're telling you and actually are going to do what they said they're going to do, and which ones are just trying to pitch themselves as the best real estate agent in the world when they really don't feel they can back up anything that they're saying and will never agree to that commission structure because they know they're not going to deliver what they say they're going to deliver. Either that or they really need the job and they'll agree to anything. And finally, we have the 5th and final option. I said final twice in that sentence. This is the sliding scale, and like the last example, you start with a low fixed price and a high fixed price, but instead of it being your decision, it's attached to a sale price. So it essentially removes the awkwardness of you wanting to give them a low fee and them really wanting a high fee. This time it's determined by what price they get. Let's say at $1 million, the agent gets 1.5%. Then if they get $1,020,000, we'll give them 1.6%. If they get $1,040,000, we'll give them 1.7%. If they get $1,060,000, we'll give them 1.8%. If they get $1,080,000, we'll give them 1.9%. And if they get 1.1,
they can have 2%.
Sorry, I got carried away there. There you are, ladies and gentlemen. That is how real estate agent fees work. There's a few final caveats to keep in mind, however. If your property is significantly cheaper than the numbers I've been talking about, let's say $300,000 for example, don't be surprised if the percentages that I'm talking about are significantly higher, because a real estate agent's probably going to charge minimum of 4% on a $300,000 house, because I don't know many real estate agents that are going to go through all of the effort, and it is a lot of effort to sell a property, do all the final inspections at the end, meet with all the buyers, follow up everyone for less than 10 grand, because then they've got to split that with the agency that they work with. Most agencies are on a 40-60 split, so they're only actually making $4,000 out of that. And that may sound like a lot, but when it takes a month, 2 months, 3 months to actually do that, it's not that much money. So just keep that in mind. Also, depending where you are in the world, these percentages will change, but a lot of the structures can still be the same. So in America, for example, it's a flat 6% commission, I believe, which is still regulated, so you can't negotiate that. But if you're in Australia, for example, Western Australia, they charge higher percentages because the price of the properties is generally a little bit lower than with Melbourne. Sydney's about the same, and it goes on and on and on. So essentially, meet with a few real estate agents, find out what the percentages are, ask if they're open to these structures, and pick one that works for you. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more YouTube videos like this about real estate, investing, business, finance, then consider subscribing. It really helps me out, and I'll see you on the next one.